Patrick Johnston, lovely to see you at Rogers Arena, maybe under different circumstances. You're getting ready for game two. I believe when I've seen other podcasts, videos, call these an emergency broadcast, an extra one. We will do, I will let people know we are doing, we will do a podcast after game two. So Wednesday, you can get Patrick's thoughts on the series to date. We'll wait until that. But right now, we're doing this to address the Thatcher Demko situation. Patrick, what can you tell us?
Well, I mean, we obviously arrived this morning and sit in our seats in the stands to watch the Canucks morning skate. Notice there's only 2 goalies on the ice. There's been 3 for most of the last 2 months almost since Thatcher Demko got hurt March 9th with a knee injury against the Winnipeg Jets. He came back last week. Artur Silovs has been around. He was sent back to Abbotsford, briefly played in Abbotsford. But, by the time the Canucks got going again, we see Silovs back here, emergency conditions, just in case he can be the emergency backup. Well, they really are in an emergency now because Thatcher Demko is not playing game 2. We're not clear if he'll be back for this series. Certainly, I'm hearing what a lot of other people are hearing, that, Canucks behind the scenes are feeling very anxious about this, and we'll see how things play out. But obviously, Casey Smith is the guy right now. Silovs is the backup, and the Canucks got to keep playing hard in front of them no matter who's in net.
Now, I've seen a bunch of stuff out there. You're there. You've talked to Rick Tocchet. Is this a re-aggravation of the old injury? Do we know when it happened? I know that this is the NHL, so it's like, quote unquote, it's a body injury. But what do you know about what happened, or what's your theory about what happened?
It's not clear. I mean, a lot of people pointing to the incredible save that Demko made early in the game on Anthony Beauvillier on that 2-1, a crucial save early in the game. Canucks a little bit jittery, I think, defensively to start, but found their way. It doesn't seem like that was the particular issue. I haven't heard that, but just chatting around, people sort of downplaying that. I think the sense is maybe something happened in later games. Still haven't quite figured that one out. But clearly, Demko didn't feel right by the end of the game. After the game, was not available for comment. He said he was on treatment, getting treatment, which we're always skeptical of. It's not supposed to be a reason why. But, if he really wasn't able to be there right after the game, we're in there 5-6 minutes after the game, that tells you the level of concern was immediate. Yesterday, he apparently did skate. Tocchet told us, although he said he didn't want to nail down when the timeline was, playing a bit careful there. But Demko apparently did get on the ice, presumably to test out how he was feeling. Farhan Lalji reporting he had an MRI. We're now in that world where he didn't skate yesterday in practice, skated before anybody showed up in the building. And, we're in a world now of wonder. Apparently, they're saying it's different. I think the suggestion is behind the scenes that, it is different. But, that's concerning for a goalie who is, he's a very physical goaltender, obviously very demanding position. The technique is very demanding. And so, to say unrelated, sure, but, once you have one thing, you never know how it's going to heal up long term. You're never back to 100%, no matter what injury you have, no matter who you are. It's not directly related, they're saying, but, in the end, it doesn't really matter. He's out, right? He's not playing. Yeah. The issue is that this is a team that's going to have to find its way to the future. And, every team now, this is nothing new. Playing backups, we go back to 2011. One way or another, you need to get your backup in there, and you need a performance from your backup at one point or another. Just turns out the Canucks need it right away.
They do, but just before we go, you'll see over my shoulder here, my fake shoulder. If you look at the Canucks' history and their deep Stanley Cup runs, obviously Richard Brodeur, Kirk McLean, right. Roberto Luongo, this team's success has been built on dominant performances when it gets to if they ever go deep in the playoffs. Are they capable of going on a deep run? Should this be something more serious with Demko? Like, sure, yeah, DeSmith can come in for a game or two, and then we'll see, maybe even get him through the round. But in your opinion, how much does this damage the Canucks' ability to go deeper into the playoffs?
I mean, fundamentally, the idea of having the best goalie in the game, that's going to be the reason why you win the Stanley Cup. And sorry about the lights in the background here as they're testing out the scoreboard. It is not the case, right? You need, obviously, strong goalie performance, but you look at past winners. Look at Vegas last year, Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson, right? You just needed guys that did the job. You didn't need a superstar. It's been years since a true superstar carried his team. Jonathan Quick, possibly 2012, is the last time a true superstar goalie has carried his team to the Stanley Cup final and to the championship. Obviously, don't get me wrong, Andrei Vasilevsky, an incredible performer for Tampa, but that was an incredible Tampa team, right? Like, that's the thing. So at the end of the day, it's a huge mental test for the team. And I'm going to be writing about this later in the week. The mentality of the playoffs, the first game, that massive buzz, everybody's all jacked up. You got to calm down. I talked to Antoine Roussel about this, and he said, yeah, that first playoff, you come in, you're flying high, you're excited. The second one, you realize, wow, I'm not going to be here every year. You start realizing the quality matters, the quality matters, the quality matters. And then you kind of get nervous about your nerves, is how the discussion. And the Canucks are in that now. They're going to have some nerves. They have faith in Casey DeSmith, but they also know he's not Thatcher Demko. Does Casey DeSmith make that save on Beauvillier? I don't know. He's just not as big, not as talented a goaltender. It's a simple truth. So it's the small margins. They are going to matter. There are going to be goals that will probably go in that DeSmith just can't get to because he's not the number one goalie. And how the Canucks react, how they deal with that, is going to be the big story here.
Yeah, last thing here, because of that, obviously sports is full of cliches. We talk about this stuff all the time. You say the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes are big. They need to settle in nerves.
Yeah.
But probably, how important will that be for the Canucks tonight? Because let's say the first shot goes in. All of a sudden, I think that whole building, you did a great story about the atmosphere and players being taken aback, but everyone, like, just seeing the reaction to you posting the story, our numbers went through the roof on our website. Early success can really settle this situation down, don't you think?
Well, that's it. I mean, no matter what happens, this is a thing for the fans to play a role. Like they played a role on Sunday night. We see it in soccer, right? Like the idea that the fans should actually cheer harder when their team is down 1-0 than when they're up. That you guys can do it. You guys can get there. And the players certainly spoke of the energy it brought to them and the emotions it brought to them. And they channeled it in the right direction. It helped them come back. When Hughes was unequivocal about that. He really did believe that the energy in the building helped his teammates keep going, keep pressing. I mean, they had faith in their ability and faith in their system. But at the end of the day, you need to power that somehow, and this is where the fans can play in, no matter what happens. Whether they score first, they give up the first goal. Like, the fans can keep these guys moving and upbeat and help them get to where they need to be. So
what you're saying is the fans need to add a dose of nitrous to the Canucks machinery.
100%.
We'll leave it there. Thanks for jumping in, Patrick. Good luck at the game tonight. Thanks for watching, listening, everyone. Sign up for your posters. Theprovince.com, all Patrick stories, all Ben stories, Steve Ewan, JJ Adams writing Canucks as well. Yeah, posters, videos, you name it, we've got it. We will be back tomorrow with some insights on how the first two games of this series have gone, what to expect for next time. Sign up for the Canuck Report. You'll get all this stuff delivered to your inbox every day. Happy game 2, everyone.